At camp, when the morning dew has collected on the grass and the sun has peeked through the trees, campers wake up to a place where walls come down and they can be themselves. The brokenness of this world and their home lives does not define them. Rather, it connects each camper together to greater experience the love of the Lord. Every camper leaves knowing they are a unique, unrepeatable miracle of God and are loved more than they ever dared imagine.
I stepped off the plane, lost in an airport. They said, "Welcome home." I didn't really believe them. I never liked camp anyway. The cabin door shut behind me, a safe haven for broken hearts. Mine breaking too. Lord, what did I get myself into? I never liked camp anyway. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his steadfast love endures forever. My soul nourished by this truth. I never liked camp anyway, but broken hearts welcomed Jesus, and my own broken heart began to heal. Somehow, running on empty filled me with unspeakable joy. I never liked camp anyway, but the light of God shining like a sunrise, the peace of God like still waters. Sinners loving sinners, beautiful, chaotic, abundant. I never liked camp anyway, but they were right. This is home.
Bair Lake Bible Camp provided a refuge from the distractions of modern-day life and a safe place to over 1,300 campers from over 750 different households this past summer. Coming to camp with all the devastation and baggage of 15 months of isolation, sickness, and in some cases, the death of a parent or loved one, these campers were challenged and encouraged by the power of the gospel. They experienced authentic and relational community with one another and encountered the love of Christ through many staff members and volunteers bearing the fruit of loving service.
I flew to Michigan at the beginning of June, and I didn't know what to expect. I walked into the summer not familiar with camp, not familiar with what my role would look like beyond the description in the interview, and I could see from the very beginning how the Lord just asked me to completely abandon everything that I thought I wanted, that I was good at, that I wasn't good at, and really just asked me to dive in and trust Him to teach me how to swim in that process. And looking back at this summer, I could just so clearly see how the campers and the staff were both just inspired to know God more fully.
Coming from the Jamaican guy who was thrown into Bair Lake without a drop of info about it, I'd say the expectations I had were blown out of the water. I'm very serious. I have already dubbed BLBC as my favorite place on earth to everyone at school and in Jamaica. My vocabulary won't allow me to express how grateful I am to God for allowing me to go there this summer, and it was just truly a blessing.
Bair Lake Bible Camp exists to inspire this generation to encounter God.
Cabin leading during Elevate really showed me how much this generation wants to encounter God, as well as help inspire other kids to encounter God. I've never seen a group of teens so excited to grow in their faith, and it brought me the purest form of happiness I felt in a while.
There were campers who hadn't really been around other people since before COVID, so 18 months of isolation and life lived through a screen, and then to be at camp and be outside, be in activities and sing songs and worship together, just the joy and the richness of living life in community, in authentic Christian community. And I'm so grateful that Bair Lake exists and has given everyone this opportunity to live fully, to be present where God has put us. And I could just see how campers would come into camp with brokenness, and it wasn't fully healed in a week, but many of them had a taste of what life feels like when it's lived with people who love the Lord, and what it's like when they grow in their love for the Lord, and the beauty in that. And so even though pain wasn't completely resolved and it wasn't fully healed, people were able to experience love and joy and fullness.
During the middle of the summer, I had a cabin of 11 campers, and 10 of them actually recommitted their life or committed for the first time in their life to Christ. And that was just an unbelievable week. But there was one individual camper on day one, only a few hours into camp, already kind of like crying and being like, I want to go home. This isn't where I belong. Like, I don't want to be here. I kind of just talked with them. I took them aside like, dude, this is going to be an amazing week. You just got to trust me. I just want you to sit and I want you to be in the Lord's presence, and I want you to hear his word and to just see what's going on around you. You don't need to do anything more than that. The Lord came in and the Holy Spirit truly transformed him. On Wednesday of that week, he gave his life to Christ for the first time ever, and I could see it in his face. He was like beaming. You could see the Lord's transformation in this camper, and it was just incredible seeing that. I was able to give him a Bible actually because he had never held a Bible before. Just handing that Bible to him, his eyes just like, they sparkled. And literally the transformation was so physical, so like seeing it, I couldn't even believe it.
While I was cabin leading during Teens Classic, one of my campers who was black was supposed to leave a day early, so he asked if he could call his mom and ask to stay for another day. While he was on his call with his mom, he was talking to her about me and how I was black and from Jamaica and how inspiring I was. And he was telling her that because of that, he felt like he can pursue his thoughts of becoming a pastor. And I had no words. I was like, wow, it's a really inspiring thing to be a part of God's plan, for him to like see me doing what I love and him wanting to pursue that as well.
By the end of the summer, 150 campers made first-time commitments to Christ. 47 campers recommitted their lives to him, and dozens upon dozens more made significant spiritual decisions during their time here at camp. Over 4 generations have experienced the deep love of Christ and the special feeling of belonging to the Bair Lake family that values each camper, volunteer, and guest.
I would just encourage everyone to invest in Bair Lake in some way, whether that's sending your kids to camp, whether that's coming yourself to volunteer, because the way that Bair Lake Bible Camp is on fire for the Lord is unlike anything I've seen. There are authentic, genuine believers who just desire to glorify God and to love people. And yes, we're sinners and we're broken and we mess up, but that's part of why it's so special, is because as sinners, as broken people, we can come alongside one another. And I saw that in all kinds of relationships this summer.
The things that happen here, things that happen at that camp, are real. They aren't just empty words and, oh yeah, we had a fun time and we talked about Jesus a little bit. No, like, this is a place where the Lord truly meets campers, meets staff, meets families where they are at, and transforms them. This is real. The work that God does in all that are involved with Bair Lake is just truly unbelievable.
I think investing in Bair Lake Bible Camp is more than just helping a church camp. It's more like helping a family adopt more members. This is more than just a Bible camp. This is a place where God is moving and working.
People are loved deeply and become a part of a community and history of the Lord's redeeming work. All those who invest in the ministry here further the Great Commission and impact lives for eternity, building the Lord's kingdom. They become a part of the legacy of God's faithfulness.